Will interest rate drop bring more buyers? Welcome to June Real Estate Market Update. May and June are typically the busiest months of the year when it comes to sales volumes, and we are seeing that in 2024 with a strong sale figures yet again. In May, Calgary observed 3,092 sales, the highest of the year so far. However, there are some signs that the Calgary market may have seen the most of its anticipated price gains already, with the pricing up just $3,000 from the month to an average sales price of $605,300 on the heels of $5,000 increase the month before. Calgary follows a very consistent seasonal cycle, with sales volumes and pricing jumping up from February through midsummer, and we are seeing that same pattern in effect now. What has been different in 2024 is that we have seen price gains coming earlier than we usually do. February, March, and April saw pressure on the market that we typically only see in the late spring and early summer months, with months of supplies coming at 1.1, 0.95, and 0.94 respectively. This contrasts with the same period a year before, when 2023 we had months of supply coming in at 1.58, 1.33, and 1.2 between February and April. So the takeaway here is that Calgary got off to a very hot start of 2024 and might be peaking just a little earlier than we would usually expect. There are a couple of other signs that support this theory, and the first being a relatively flat sale growth for the same time last year, with our 3,092 sales essentially equaling the amount we saw in 2023. This contrasts the previous months, which all posted high single-digit gains over the 2023 sale figures. In addition to this, we are seeing a lot more new listings this month compared to the last month, with 4,333 new properties coming to market, a full 19% more than what we saw in 2023. So double-digit new listings coupled with a flat sales would support the notion that price won't be climbing as fast as we saw earlier this year. Bank of Canada cut down their overnight rate for 0.25 points to 4.75%. Dropping overnight Bank of Canada rate is a relief for all borrowers with loans based on variable rates, such as variable mortgages and lines of credit. But it does not directly affect the fixed rate mortgages. They're issued based on Canada bond yield. Although the bond market often reacts on overnight rate changes, but it does not always correlate in a prompt and equal adjustment. I don't think that this will affect the market a lot, considering that variable rate is still much higher than a fixed rate right now. With respect to asset class specific data, all four segments are up considerably compared to the last year, with detached pricing coming at $761,800, semi-detached prices are $678,000, raw pricing was $462,500, and the apartment prices were $340,500. All of those values are double-digit increase compared to the same time last year. However, there are some segments worth a separate discussion, and that is apartment condos. While posting a very healthy 18% increase over May 2023, the prices for Calgary apartments dropped month over month, from coming down by almost $6,000 from April to May. The largest change was seen in a central and west district, while all other districts were relatively unchanged. This may be an anomaly. However, it's irrelevant for this particular asset class because of the record-setting 19,579 housing starts we saw in 2023, a full 50% of those being apartment condos. This has been a trend for what we have seen nearly a year now, and it is fueling the increase in market share that condos apartment segment has been taking. So if you are buying a condo with an intention to keep for a long time, I wouldn't worry about it. But if you're hoping to trade up in a raw townhouse or small detached home, it might be wise to monitor the listing volumes for condos in the recent years to come, as there is a risk that price gains on apartment condos will slide beneath that of the detached segment once the supply of new condo projects works its way into a resale market. In a local news, the Blanket Rezoning proposal was voted through after a historic hearing process that saw more members of the public speaking hearing than ever occurred before. The rezoning will take place in summer, meaning that all lots in Calgary will now be zoned for up to 4 units instead of just 1. But just because zoning exists doesn't mean that every lot has a potential of being redeveloped. It is actually opposite. In fact, as the bylaw is quite restrictive when it comes to what can and cannot be built due to factors such as a lot coverage, offset from the streets, and laneway requirements to facilitate parking. So there will certainly be some redevelopment, but it is not that as we will see communities being forever altered from what they looked like now. Or maybe they will. Time will show. One notable amendment to the proposed change is that the raw townhouse complex will now be a discretionary use, not a permitted use. So, if you're concerned about the development going up near you, you will have an opportunity to make your case against it before it gets approved. Another big news for Calgary is that Calgarians will have a very last look at the Eau Claire market this June, as the building is set to be demolished this summer to make a way for the Greenline LRT station that will reimagine this historical plot of Calgary real estate for future generations. The station will be the north stop of the first phase of a green line that will extend as far as 130th Avenue Southeast when it is complete. 17th Avenue is also making the news, as the city is launching a study to explore the possibility of closing the street to vehicle traffic in a pilot project next summer. That is following the lead of other cities that have sought to preserve commercial and retail walkability in their established commercial corridor. For example, the Banff Avenue did close for vehicle traffic, and it did lead to more vibrant feel amongst the shops, bars and restaurants there. So this will be a curious development to watch and see if it comes together. So as always, everyone's real estate situation is highly unique to them. Are you curious about what your property could be worth and what it might cost you to move to an area you had your eye on? Well, I'm here to help and happy to get you answers you need. I hope you have an excellent spring and see you in a month's time. Take care.